So in this video, we're going to take a look at how to draw a cumulative frequency diagram. So in order to draw one of these, we need to have some data, and this will be found in a grouped frequency table, such as the one in front of us. Okay, so let's use this to try to draw a cumulative frequency diagram. So cumulative means adding up as we go along. So we're going to have to convert the frequency table into a cumulative frequency table. Now, when I'm thinking about cumulative frequency, I mean to add up as we continue through the data set all the values. So the first one is actually going to stay exactly the same as it was before, right? Okay, so the number of people that have a height between 90 and 100 is 5 still. So I'm just rewriting that. But in the next column, rather than having the people who are between 100 and 110 in height, I want to combine and have that cumulative total between 90 and 110. And I can get that by just adding these up together. I've got 5 between 90 and 100 and 22 between 100 and 110. Then overall, I've got 27, right? So my cumulative frequency at that point is 27. So between 90 and 120, what do you think it's going to be? Of course, it's going to be 57, because I'm now adding that extra 30 into my cumulative total. So up to 120, I've got 57 people. Okay, between 90 and 130, well, I've now got to add another 31. So that's going to be 88. Then if I wanted to know the number of people who are between a height of 90 and 140, then I've got to add up another 18 onto the 88. Well, if I do that, I am going to have 106. And then finally, the combined total of everybody between 90 and 150, I've got to add a 6. So I'm going to have 112. So that's how we create cumulative frequencies. Now, we don't necessarily need this column. I'm putting it there to help you understand how we're doing this. And so once we've done that, we're now in a position to draw our diagram. Now, the key point to just focus in on, right, is that when we're drawing this diagram, we're going to need to have a y-axis, a vertical axis, which is going to be our cumulative frequency, and our x-axis, our horizontal axis, is going to be the original heights, okay, that we had before. So when we're going to draw our diagram, we need to start from 0 and go up at least as high as 112 for our cumulative frequency axis. And on our x-axis, we're going to start from 90 and we're going to go along as far as 150. And we want to do these diagrams relatively big, over at least half a page. And so here are the axes, or something like the axes that you should expect to be able to see. So look, I've got cumulative frequency on the left-hand side going up. It's always the same. It must be going up, never across. And in this case, the heights going from left to right. Make sure we're going up by the same amount of squares each time, whatever scale you choose. And I have put in a little line break. We want to start this at 90, exactly where our heights began, at 90. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to start off with the lowest possible value. So that's 90. Now at 90, we've got nobody lower than 90 in our table at all. So at 90, it's like having a cumulative frequency of 0. So the first thing to do is to mark across here. That's going to be our starting point at 90, 0. Now, the next one we're going to mark on is, well, up to 100. Okay, in fact, let's just change our color a second. Right, at 100, well, there was 5 with a height of up to 100. Okay, so our first mark is going to be 100 across and 5 up. It's the far end of this height width, or class width, I should say. Okay, it's that side. So it's 100, 5. So let's find that. 105 is going to be there. Right, we'll mark that point exactly there. Okay, right, let's carry on. Now, our next one, well, it's going to be at 27, and of course, there's 110 people who have a height of up to, there's 27 people who have a height of up to 110. So let's mark that down. We need to get 27, and 27 is going to be just about there. Okay, the next one after that, let's go back at our table and take a look. Well, 57 people have a height of up to 120. So let's mark that 120 and 57. Somewhere approximately there. Okay, so that's that one. Then we have 88. Well, we have 88 people who have a height of up to 130. So 88, 130. $88 is going to be just about there. Let's carry on. And then our next one is going to be at 106 and 140. So we go 5 across and then count up to, I've already forgotten what it was, 106. 106. Going to be about there. And then the last one is at 112, 150. So we're going to have 112, 150. It's going to be something like that. Okay, so we've marked our points. Hopefully we've kept that nice and accurate. Now, we're going to do a nice smooth curve between them. Make sure it's smooth and you start from that lowest possible value back at 90. And mine won't be perfect, I'm sure, but you get the idea. And that should be running through all of those points. And that is our cumulative frequency diagram completed. Make sure you label the sides. It should never go down, only up and across, okay? Because we're adding up as we go along. Right, let's have a go at one more example. See if we can do this. I'm going to do this one a little quicker, okay? We're going to jump in with those cumulative frequencies straight away. So we're going to have 1, 5, 20, 37, and 40. Okay, I'm just adding up as I go along to get those. Okay, so I can see that I'm going to need to go up as high as 40 on my cumulative frequency axis because the biggest value is 40. I'm going to need to go from 70 to 120 on my x-axis to put these scores of this golf game in. Okay, so quick thing to make sure we do is let's mark those points. So first point is going to be at 70, okay, and there was nobody scored less than 70, so I can put a 0, look there. That one's often forgotten about, okay. Let's carry on. So the next one, at 80, we had a 1 person, okay, so up to a score of 80, we've got 1 person. Up to 90, well, we've got 5 people, haven't we? We've got 5 people. So let's find 90 and make sure we have the 5 marked down. Okay, then we got 15 people in the next range, but we know that up to a score of 100, that was a combined total of 20. So find the 100. And if you can't see it from your diagram, we can rub those lines out in a moment, right? Let's mark that 20 there. Okay, now then at 110, we should be at 37, okay, 37. So find 110 and 37. So 37 is, let's just go across and make sure we keep this right. We can rub that line out later. And let's go up from 110. So we can mark our point there. Okay, and you can do that with a ruler. Okay, unfortunately, I don't have the digital capacity to do that, so I'll use those lines. Okay, now I've made a mistake, haven't I? What have I done wrong? I have not included enough values because this graph goes up to 120. So let's just extend that on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. Okay. So we're going to have 120 there, and we need to be at the 40 mark for that 120. So if I just draw a little line to help guide me, look, and then go across from that 40 to help guide me, we can see that there's that finishing one right there. Okay, so from there we can just join this up, and we should be able to create that cumulative frequency curve. Now, in the next video, we'll take a look at how to interpret this and what it means, but hopefully this is enough information for you to be able to draw at least your own cumulative frequency diagram.